Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here to talk to you today about the 4 R's of Hollywood. Those are remakes, reboots, revival, and ripoff. Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about The Sex Lives of College Girls Season 1, Episode 6, Parents Weekend. Finally, an episode I like. And it only took 6 episodes. And in fact, after this 6th episode, I started liking all the other episodes. The show started being better written. The jokes landed better. The drama was better. The acting started to get better from a lot of people. Some people it didn't, but for the most part, for a lot of them, it got so much better. Thank God. But there are still flaws in this show, and not just with the first 5. Even the last 5 still has some flaws every now and then, but for the most part, it's so much better than the first 5. I hope the second season is just as good as these last 5. And thank God I stayed with this show because the Kimberly character. Because seriously, if it wasn't for her being as cool as she was, not everything about her is cool, but there's a lot about her I like and the actress. So I'm so glad I stuck with this because of her. Because all the other characters, I have mixed feelings for. But she is all time my favorite. So if she wasn't in this show, boy, I probably would have gave up on it. And thank God I didn't. Because it's actually a pretty interesting show with a lot of deep moral lessons to be learned. Even though, like I said, it's still flaws in it. The show is by no means perfect, but it's a whole lot better than those first 5. And so this episode, the parents are coming for the weekend. And all the students, they really don't want their parents coming. For the most part, all of them have been lying to their parents. Bella said that she's technically a comedy writer. And so she's has a writing degree. She's going for her writing degree. And so she's lied and said she's actually some type of science major. Of course, I hate how to pronounce her name. Leiden, whatever you call her and stuff like that. Of course, her parents don't know she's a closeted lesbian. Kimberly, her parents and Nico's parents don't know that they like each other and kind of dating and stuff. Who I'm leaving out? Oh, Whitney. She's all yeah. Of course, her mom doesn't know about the whole affair thing, but then she's all I told my mom I'm with the young Republicans or something like that, just to mess with her. Cause I guess her mom's a Democrat and stuff. And so she's all she's doing that to mess with her. But then we learned something about some other characters. Characters I think are recurring and not main, even though Wikipedia says they're main. I have no idea what the girl's name in the wheelchair, but we actually learned something about her. It's weird. She's a so-called main character, but we don't know nothing about her other than the fact that she's willing to go to a naked party, and the only reason why she's comfortable with it because she was drunk when she got there. And so we learned that she has a fake ID business and something else. I completely forgot what it is. That's because they don't dive deep into her character. She's just there to be sarcastic and everything else. Now, even though the humor has gotten better, it's still stupid humor in there as well. Okay, so they're all in this assembly hall type place, and Whitney is talking to Kimberly. And I couldn't notice a certain outfit she's wearing. It looked like she was wearing an African outfit, but you couldn't really tell because you only see it from the top up. But then she had a necklace as well. And then Whitney's all what are you wearing? And she's all oh, I was invited to this African studies, something thing. And she's all too much? And she's yes, that's too much. She's literally wearing a dashiki. And everything. So then she goes and change. That girl is never gonna learn. She is never gonna learn. Now, in my first review, I said she was white. That's because like at first when I saw her, I'm just like, okay, she looks kind of Jewish. And so, but then they called her a white girl on the show, so I'm assuming she was like a white girl, something like that. But when I looked her up on Wikipedia, the actress is actually Jewish. So, whatever. I mean, I don't understand why they called her white if she's like Jewish. So, but then it's weird because I used to watch this one show. These two Jewish actresses starred in it, and they wrote it, and they called themselves white girls. I don't know why Jewish people do that if they're Jewish. I don't understand that. But anyway, so nobody wants their parents to come, but they're gonna come. So they all decided, okay, we're all gonna have dinner together, like the main group, the real main four characters. In my opinion, there's only four main characters, maybe two more, but that's about it. And so, like, oh, how do you pronounce her name? Leiden. She decided she's gonna pick the place to go to. This very, very, very expensive restaurant and everything because her family's rich. And so you're probably wondering, well, how come I like this episode so much? It's because in some of these characters we get some reveals and everything. I've been wondering for the longest time why some of these characters are the way that they are. Why is Bella such like a sex freak and everything? They call her sex positive on Wikipedia. I don't like calling her that. Only because like I don't know, there's certain situations that she was so sex positive that I'd be kind of like okay with her, but then it made her feel like uncomfortable. But then I get now why when I watched the other episodes why that made her feel uncomfortable. And it's just like I don't know, it's just I like to just think she's sex crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like she's just like very fluidly open about like her sexuality stuff like that. And so like you get a glimpse as to why she's the way she is. You get a glimpse into why Lighten is so rude to everybody and stuff. And probably then get a little glimpse into why she might be hiding who she is. But then you get a bigger reveal in episode 9 when she really lets everything out. Then you get kind of a glimpse as to why Whitney is messing around with an older man who's like, her coach and stuff. And so it's just interesting. And let's see, what was, I don't think, um, we already know why Kimberly is the way she is because her parents and stuff. So there's no reveal with that one. But like, yeah, so like, it's funny because when Bella is in class, her parents are very proper, very prim, very like covered up dress, like nice like clothing, sweaters, like you name it, like a blazer, like they're that type. You know what I'm saying? They want her to have a huge, big education. That's why she at I am so tongue tied tonight. Sussex. Jesus Christ. And so like, they follow her around her classes. And so she fakes pretending to be in this one class with this one professor. And he doesn't pay attention to her and stuff. And so she's just pretending to be like in that class. Because her thing is she wants to be a comedy writer. She loves comedy. And that's why she dresses kind of the way she does. Like sometimes she'll dress like very girly. And then other times she'll dress kind of like a comedian from like the 80s or 90s. Like, like button up shirt, blazer, jacket, maybe a tie and stuff like that. Like she literally dresses like that. And so, of course, with this big dinner that's so expensive, Kimberly cannot afford it. And so Lighten tells her, oh, you know what, it's okay. I'll buy like your dress and like stuff like that. And no, I don't think she buys her dress. She buys something for her. Maybe it is the dress. I can't remember. And so her and her mom go there. And when her and her mom go there, they're very dressed up in the sparkly type outfits. And they're like, oh, we overdressed and everything and everything. So, like, yeah, the parents, Lord have mercy. Now you see why some of these people are the way they are. Some of them you don't. So, first, let's get with Nico and Lighten's parents. We already know the dad loves that school. For the most part, he seems like a pretty okay, nice guy. But then he can be a jerk at times. He call Lightning's friends a-holes and stuff. The mom, my God, now I know where Nico gets that dark hair from the Native American side. His mom is rude and nasty. She is your typical stuck-up, nasty trophy wife. You know those Real Housewives or whatever city or state they're from. She acts like that. And so, but she's not shouting and yelling at people or flipping the table and everything. But yeah, she's like one of those. And so, like, but it's weird. Like, she keeps talking about how big her son's muscles are and filling on and everything. And so there's a recurring gag throughout the entire episode of mom wants to bang her own son. You get that feeling, which is really gross and nasty. And so, like, she's constantly being rude and snarky to everybody. But then her husband is even being even more rude when he finds out the senator is going to be there. He doesn't like her. He doesn't like how she wanted to do something like some type of Affordable Care Act or something like that. And so he's like a very conservative, hardcore Republican, and Whitney's mom is not. And so he doesn't like her for that. So they constantly get into it the entire episode. Whitney's mom, of course, the one I don't like, for personal reasons, it's weird. She's like a Democrat senator, so you expect her to be a whole lot nicer. Throughout the entire episode, she's blunt, she's rude, just like she was in the first episode. And I'm just like, that's just Sherry Shepherd being Sherry Shepherd and everything. And it's just weird how she's so bluntly rude for some reason, which is weird because Whitney is not like that whatsoever. Whitney is actually very nice and everything. And so, like, well, let's see, I'm trying to think. Okay, so while they're at the party, as you all know, Kimberly is very poor and cannot afford stuff. So, her mom, being the old town hick person that she is, she gave everybody some gifts, some very thoughtful gifts. They are purse hooks to put on the table so your purse don't hit the floor. Because apparently women don't like the idea that purses being on the floor for some reason. They say it's a weird disrespect or something like that, or you get bad luck, or it's something like that I've heard. This woman at her church made them, so she gave them to everybody. Of course, Miss Snarky, Nico's mom is just kind of like, what the world is this gift for? It looks so tacky and everything like that. So she basically insults the woman and everything, and Lighton does not like it. It's weird. Every time the parents say or do something that's pisses somebody off, the girls are constantly texting each other as the parents are making a fool out of themselves and everything. And they all agreeing that their parents are so whack and everything. And so it's funny because one of the girls are all like, dude, your mom wants to bang your brother. So she's like, I know. And so, like, Bella, her little secret gets out because her father spots the professor at the restaurant. So he's like, oh, let's go there and talk to him. So she has no choice. One interesting thing about Bella, remember I said we kind of figure out why she is the way she is? I assume because the first episode, because of how her parents are, and I am totally right. You can tell she grew up very sheltered, very proper, very prim. The way she dressed up for the dinner tells a story. She looks like a little kid who's in a boarding school wearing a school uniform. She's wearing pink and everything, but it's kind of like a plaid skirt, and it looks like something a little girl will wear. And her hair is made in the way a little girl will wear her hair. And so that's how her parents see her, this like sweet, honest, little innocent little girl. And so that's how she dresses. And that's why she is so freaky in like her everyday college life. It reminds me so much of people I knew in college. There was these two dudes who came from like this Catholic school, transferred over to my school. They went buck wild the moment they got into like a real college and stuff. And that's normally what happens. Young adults are away from their parents and they go nuts and everything. So They go over there and talk to the professor. And he's just weirded out, like, why are these people like staring at me and everything? And why are they talking to me? And he's all like, look, I make it a point to know my students. And young lady, I do not know you. So they have to have a private conversation. And she tells them, yo, I want to be like a writer, a comedy writer. I love comedy and everything. And they're all like, look, we pay a lot of money for you to go to this school, a fancy school. We want you to get a good education, something in science or something like that. And so, like, the dad's upset, the moms are like, oh, he'll be okay about it. But it's interesting because that's how a lot of, like, Asian and South Asian, Indian and type people are like a lot of their parents. They really, really want their children to be like very, very, very smart and go to college and be like a science major, a doctor, something like that. They really push studies on them, I've heard, and and so I'm just glad they brought that up in the show, because like that's one thing. Like how it's always that like you watch a show or movie and they say, oh, it's always an Asian stereotype. They're always smart. This is why, because this is the actuality of it all. Like in Asian culture, I was watching this one YouTube channel lady talking about like because she lives over in an Asian country and she's talking about Asian culture and she was talking about why Asian people don't like the Fast and Furious movies. It's because they could care less about muscles and fast cars and they will like the Dom character a lot more if he picked up a book and read it and everything. So yeah, they value their studies big time. I remember when I went to college, a lot of the Asian students was constantly in their books or in the computer lab or like very like nerdish. And then you had the other type of Asians that were just kind of like the hot Asians that just like partied all the time and looked cool and everything. So yeah. And so like with Whitney, her mom was talking about, oh, when I went to my college, I studied in this studies and that studies and this other study class. And so Nico's mom or dad is all like, oh, so you decided to take those type of classes. One of them was black studies. And she's like, well, you got a problem with that? And he's all like, when I went to school, I took more like educational classes, like things that had the word history or English or science, not something that has the word studies. And so those two are constantly getting into it because of their political views and stuff. Now, one thing about Whitney is that her father hasn't showed up yet. Now, her father is never seen, but he's heard when they talk on the phone. He is in a band and he plays like bass or something like that. Why do black people? Why do they always assume a black person plays bass? No, I said bass. Lord Jesus have mercy. I'm totally out of it tonight. Bass. Why do they always assume black people play bass? Like there was on South Park one time. He's like, "Here, token, you can play the bass because you're black." So like, um, and Token's all like, I don't know how to play no bass. And then he just picked up and he just started playing it like really good and everything. So, anyways, her father, she's waiting. There's an empty seat and everything. And so, like, she calls her father up and she's all like, Dad, where are you? He's like, oh, I'm in like another state and everything. She's like, what? Why? He's all like, because I think I might get a gig or something like that. She's all like, well, what about me? He's like, look, don't you want me to be happy? So that's it. She has daddy issues. And we also find out that her father and mother are divorced. And so that explains big time why she's messing around with her assistant coach. Because she has daddy issues from abandonment and everything. So she's looking for that yearning and everything. Now it's kind of hard when you see her with Dalton because it's kind of like he doesn't look that old. Because a lot of the people here are cast around the same age. Like I think Bella might be 28, something like that in real life. Um, Lighton might be like 24, so it's the Whitney character. But Kimberly is actually 30. She looks young, man. You gotta give it up for her and stuff like that. Cause I'm older than her by a couple of years, and yeah, I'm starting to look it. And so like so Whitney's upset. Her dad's not there. She makes a comment about it. And before her mom could say anything, Nico's dad has to put his 2 cents in. And he says something rude about her father. Like he must be like a crappy man if he can't be here. Something like that, he says. So then Whitney's mom, she defends her ex-husband. Is all like, look, he might not be a perfect man and everything, and I might not like him, but you will not sit here and disrespect my daughter's like father and all this other crap. So then when the dinner was over and Whitney and her mom was talking, she's all like, thanks for like defending dad, mom. And she's all like, you know what? Nico's dad was right. Your father is worthless and everything. But I just didn't want to say that in front of everybody else. And she's all like, I don't understand you. It's like if your father shows up, then you hate me. But if he does not show up, all of a sudden you like me and everything. And you need to like choose or something like that. Or you need to decide what you want, or something like that. And because her and her mom don't get along, and it makes you wonder why don't they get along? Because it's never explained in the show. Not even towards the end of the series, it's explained why she don't like her mom and everything. Now her mom is a very blunt, rude person, and a lot of people assume that you know Whitney gets what she wants because of her mom. But other than that, there's no reason for her like to hate her and stuff. But then now that we know that she's divorced from her dad and she really loves her dad, that could be it and everything. And so like trying to think. So Nico's mom, she's in everybody being like, who's everybody dating and everything, and she's like, oh Kimberly, you're a lovely girl. Who are you dating? Kimberly's like, there's one thing up there. She almost spills her drink. She's like, oh, dating me? No, I'm single and everything, because she don't want nobody to know that she's dating Nico. Lighten does Lighten. What is her name? Doesn't even know and everything. And so like um I'm trying to think. I'm leaving anybody out. I did Bella, I did Whitney. Um, oh, Lighten's just pretty much getting on her parents. Talking about stop saying this, stop saying that, stop being rude. You know, it's interesting. Her character has changed a lot in the last couple of episodes. In the first couple, she was very rude and snarky to everybody. But then she started to mellow out when she started dating Alicia and everything. And it's like she's less rude and she's more nicer to people and her roommates, and she even helps them out like a lot, especially Kimberly financially and stuff. And so like so it's kind of like even though it's weird because it's kind of like they're making us sympathetic for her character by making but it's like she's turning nice only because she's dating somebody. And but then it's weird because it's like when she first started, she don't nobody knowing she's dating girls. She will block them and everything like that. But then all of a sudden now she just starts to date like Alicia, and now it's just like she's accepting that, but she's still hiding it. Like she's still hiding out. She only hangs out with her in her like apartment and stuff like that, and some more interesting stuff with her towards the end of like the series. But it's just weird how like she ain't want nothing to do but like, cause it's weird she's dating somebody from her school where she can be found out, as opposed to that one lady who was older, slightly older, who doesn't go to that school and stuff. And so now it's coming around the time of like the check. And so while Kimberly and Lighten was in the restroom, she's all like, here, take my credit card. I'll pay for like you and your mom's like meal and everything like that. And so like when it comes down to like, the pain, so at first I think Lighten's dad was gonna pay for everybody. But he offended so many people, especially Whitney's mom. She's like, no, we will pay individually because I don't want you thinking you owe us for anything or you have to take care of everything like you so much better than everybody. So when everybody starts putting like the credit cards and like the little checkbook thing or whatever they call it, the waiter thing, they're passing it along, And then like Kimberly puts like Kimberly's, I think Kimberly's mom or something like that put like, I think her credit card in, so she put something in there, and then Kimberly took it out and put Lighton's card in there. But then when they got back to Lighton's dad, he's all like, Lighton, why are you paying for a meal? You know I got you and everything. So then it gets an awkward thing. And then so I think what it was, somebody started going around the table like, okay, we have this person card, this person. I don't know if it was Whitney's mom or somebody. She's like, okay, so let's go around the table. This person card, that person card, this person card, and they realized that Kimberly and her mom's card is not in there. So then everybody kind of just looks at them, and then they're kind of like, oh, and everything. She's like, oh, that's okay. We can pay for our own meal. And Kim's like, no, no, mom. And like, so like, it's okay. It's my treat. And she's like, no, like, no, we got money and stuff like that. So she opens up her purse, and instead of like a debit card, a credit card, she's pulling out money. And so that's something rare. You rarely see anybody with money nowadays. And so the dad's like, oh, no, 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 look, we understand like your family. And she's like, no, we can pay for ourselves, and she does. And so when her and her mom are outside, she's all like, honey, like you shouldn't have to be ashamed of all this stuff. Like you shouldn't have to like use your friend's money to pay for us. This is why I brought extra money for tonight, because I knew we were going out. But she's all like, but if we ever do this again, please don't go to no expensive restaurant. And this is an interesting thing, because this has happened to many people. It's kind of like, I remember when I was in college, boy, I was like broke at times. And then I remember like I was like loaning money. My friends were like, oh, whatever, I'll pay for you. And of course, I'll pay them back. But it took a long time for me to pay them back in that semester and everything. So I got like my like the next semester, because like sometimes you just go broke, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like college is one of those hard struggles, man. So I totally understand like the Kimberly character. Like you don't want nobody to pay for you, but then sometimes like they do, and then some people are okay with it. And sometimes you kind of take advantage of it. Like, okay, well, look, if you're gonna pay for me, I'll keep my own money and stuff, and pretend like I left my card in the door. And stuff. But it's like, it's really hard, because when I used to hang out with my friends, I used to just like hanging out, going places, doing things. I do like eating out, but I never wanted to like eat out. You know what I'm saying? Because it would probably be like one of the time I'm like low on money at this time, or I just didn't feel like eating out and getting fat. And they always want to eat out. Why is that when people hang out, the first thing they want to do is like eat? I don't get that. Like I want to do stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so that's basically that like entire like episode. And Nico and Kimberly, they like talk a little bit more, and he apologizes for how his parents are and stuff. And so it's like, yeah, so this was a good episode. It was some good drama in it. Some suspense with the whole Bella thing and that professor. And it was like we got some nice little reveals. Like you have to pay attention, and because they're not gonna tell you straight up, but when it comes to Lighten, she will actually straight up tell you in episode 9 and everything. Now the next episode is pretty funny too. Like I'm saying, man, after this episode, everything just started like flowing better and getting better, but there's still some flaws in this show. And yeah, like it's not perfect, but they do hit a lot of moral stuff that makes you think, especially a lot of stuff that's going on today. And that's the thing about this. In college, you will experience everything, and I mean everything. And it's one of those things of what do you do in those situations? You know what I'm saying? And that's one good thing about this show. But then one problem with this show is once they, like, can I just like, this is a serious episode about sexual assault, and of course it's with the Bella character, right? And so after saying all this stuff and all this other stuff, then she ends it with a stupid joke that breaks the entire tension of the dramatic scene that was built up. And it's like, why? Why do that? Why do they always throw in that Josh Whedon type humor to like break the moment of drama? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get that, and they do that a lot in the entire series and stuff, or season, I should say. Alrighty, well I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.